Hello and welcome to the realm of Midgard. I'm Mountain and this is Chapter 2, Episode 6 from our realm. I'm standing over here in our brewing house which we built last episode. Nothing inside has really changed except for, as we can see behind me, we've got the potions still going. But I added slow falling to this first one because when I was flying around, Foxwood and having a bit of a look to see what we need to do, try and take some inspiration from the land already around us. I kept flying too quick, so I thought it's going to be a bit better off to have some of that in the, in the stockwork, so we've got it if we need it later on. Alright, but as you're probably noticing, this is the first episode, in a few weeks where I'm starting off and I'm still in the same gear as last episode. I haven't died yet, touch wood now that I've said that I'm probably going to die this episode, but it's supposed to be a nice easy one, so I don't think I should. But let's head on outside and I'll show you what I've been up to in between episodes, because if you remember, I promised you that there was going to be some leaves on our trees, and well, I've done that. Let's go check out my trees. Spin around. Still need to name this place. Now, as you can see, our trees have gotten a much more life, and I'm actually really happy with how these have sort of come up. You'll see that I've got some scarecrows over in the field at the moment. But yes, we've gone through and really decorated this up, and I've also added in another little house with a wagon beside it. Because we've got all of the nether warts over there. I thought that, if we turn them into blocks, it could be like transporting them to places. We've got a few these barrels of them around. I think this house might be like a sleeping quarters, but I've done no interior. But I do like the little balcony look out, and especially how it looks over at like one of the older buildings of the server. Yes, I just noticed too that needs to be terraformed. But yeah, it gets a little look out over onto here. We'll have to do something in here soon. But I really like how this whole place has now just come together with adding in a few leaves on the trees, decorating a little bit here and there. Nothing else has really changed too much other than adding the leaves and our fancy new scarecrows. Which I really love because most of this area was starting to get really well lit up, and I knew that because everything was spawning in here. So I've gone around and we've got the end rods sort of as our scarecrow's base, which provides a fair bit of light around here. And then we're just using the hay bales, some dark oak, fences, some carved pumpkins, and made ourselves some little hats. These guys, if I grab a axe, these guys look pretty funny if you don't put on these little things. They've got like, it looks like they're wearing a beanie or like a bandana, but I don't know. It could also be an option later on down the track. But yes, that's what I've sort of added in around here at the moment. Really setting up for what I want to do today, which is if we follow this pathway down to here, you can see that we really just stopped off. And we have our nether portal down there. We've also got the fishing shack down there, which I sort of want to keep and include into it all. So I was thinking what we need to do is create a pathway that leads from over here all the way down to there. And now I'll need to grab out my shovel. You sort of see all of these chests here, they're going to have to go because I want to sort of wrap my pathway in and around here and have it going all the way here. But we're also going to obviously have to work out a nice point here and then start digging our way up, because I want to have like a carved walkway into the little mountain top, which, oh, it's going to rain on me. Sort of something like this here. You can see we've got a little pathway to walk up. I was just thinking we could also have included, please don't shoot me while I'm showing something, fix up this little wall around here to sort of match what we've done in other areas. Like here's a perfect example. Do something like this over there, because I think it's come up really nice, and it sort of adds a bit more to like the build up and the sort of the story that we're telling of this area. It's actually been here and that. So I'm now going to go and quickly prepare up a few bits of, resources to start working on building our pathway down. And yeah, I'll bring you all back in when I've got some gear. Alright, so I've now cleared up this space behind me. As you can see, we've got no more of those chests, any of the cauldrons that we had originally for the setup. We've now got a nice clean slate to work with. I've moved it all down there, so we still have a space for some storage, and set up a little campfire in case it gets dark and I want to cook a bit of meat. But when I was sort of clearing this space and sort of pondering how to approach it, I sort of first thought that maybe the best way might be actually to tackle it by filling out where this whole hillside's going to be, and then tying in where we want our pathway from the portal entrance, which is just over here. So we sort of have a whole view there. You can sort of see that there is a natural line that the sort of water is followed for where the land is, and I'm kind of wanting to bring out the sort of hill and then have it sort of do a bit of a slope up from there. I've got a few different sort of block palette rocks sort of stuff in my inventory. So I think what we might do is, before we can start sort of marking off where we want our path to go, let's just quickly get this whole cliffside, hillside, whatever it is, always stuff up which one, but get that all sort of marked out, made up, and then it'll make it so much easier for us to sort of know where we need our path to go. Alright, so I'm going to go get, 95, my camera account. Got it right this time. Set him up, and then, yeah, so I'll bring you back once this is all nice and finished. Enjoy the time lapse. Well, I think that's come up pretty well for, about an hour and a bit's worth of work. As you can probably tell from that time lapse, I kind of favoured one side. I wonder which one. Mainly because when I started getting the frame there of where this little cliff up was going to be, I could really see that if you look over my, is it my right shoulder or my character? Yeah, left side of the screen, maybe depending on how this goes. But I was thinking if we could have the stairwell going up there to cut into the pathway to make it all nice and connected. That sort of to me seemed like a bit more of the easier and a bit more natural way to form this. I also kind of like how we've got that little bit of a cave up there for our nether portal, which also still needs a bit of work on, especially that front patch there. It's just flat and it doesn't look right to me. But I thought maybe now we can go in and start cutting away into the cliff a little bit to make our path, and then we can sort of finish up the rest of those little bit of details. At the moment, there's been a fair few sort of glow squid spawning around my little portal area there, so if they keep doing that, I might try and just make a passive sort of ink farm by just, placing some magma blocks there and have a hop minecart to pick up whatever dies on it. So if that keeps happening, we could also be getting that out of this. Alright, let's pop back across the river now and let's sort of start marking out our path. Catch you over there. Alright, so let's start up here and work our way down the hill. Now, as we can see, we sort of got a nice little pathway marked out here, and throughout all the area I go around and place a bit of the podzol just to sort of, I don't know, I just like the texturing of it, and sometimes you can use it when you want to sort of place a hidden light under the slabs, like we'll do over here. So I'll place in a little bit of that, the podzol, go around, grab myself out a torch, luckily I have one, break it through there, and then we can add in our slabs, and that will still give off a bit of light. However though, if we were to have it just as a normal one with the path block, you can see there's a little bit of pixels there, and we've just got to get rid of them because that will bug me later on. And so we just do that with all these ones, and we have ourselves our nice little way down. This one here I might just quickly craft up some sticks, get a few more of these in there, because the better the light that we can have around, especially now, will sort of help us in the long run. Next update, I'm really looking forward to, if they keep it as it's going to be needing absolute zero for mobs to spawn, because then we can do some really cool lighting effects. So sort of just do this as our little step down, so our path will continue on to here, and then I'm thinking that we just round the path. We come it down. Is this a nice spot? Yep. Hey, see? Look, more glow squid. We might be able to get a little farm out of that anyway. Alright, so yeah, over here's where I kind of want us to mark it in, and yeah, that's going to meet up nicely. So we want to drop it. Maybe not there. Let's go back here, fix up a mistake. Alright, so let's detour it down a bit more like this. We can add in a step, and then we'll maybe break down a bit more. Why are you not using your shovel? I don't know. So we got little stairs going like this, and then we can sort of just wrap our way down the cliff. So I'm gonna work away on getting it just tapered down to here, and then we'll bring it back once we've got that sort of rough outline look. Got potential at the moment. I'll see you when we get back. Alright, so now I've laid out the path a little bit, given a bit more of those podzol sort of rough textured look. And also we've now set up our little stairway, which I've made use of using a combination between the stripped oak and the stripped spruce wood. A little bit like what I did for the entrance part over there, but that was just purely stripped spruce. And this one has a bit more of the colour in it. It gives a bit more, just sort of different variety in the texture, and I kind of like that. So we're going to have this leading down to a little dockway, which I haven't quite yet all got set up, because, well, that's what we're going to do now. But I want this to sort of lead us off into a little cave area, and as well as going all the way around to the fishing shack that Attica built back in Season 1. Now, for this sort of design here, I'm thinking of just using a bit of the spruce, the oak half slabs, because, well, I kind of like the different texture between the dark oak that I've got for the stairwell to what the oak looks a bit more lighter colour contrast. I'm thinking I might also throw in a few of the spruce trapdoors because I just like their texture. And we've got some of these dark oak logs to have as our railings, our support beams, and some trapdoor of the oak variety for our rails. So let me give you a little bit of a demonstration. So I'm thinking if we have these about 3 wides, it's 1, 2, 3, so it would come out to about here. And then we'll just go sort of like this all the way out and around. And now what I'm thinking for our trapdoors is we just got a shift click and we have this sort of design for it all the way around. And I reckon that might look really cool. So we just do that here, because it gives us a nice little bit of like a grid sort of thing. And yeah, I don't know, I just like it. We might need to work out something to do on these little corner pieces. But I mean, we can always just still do this. Oh yeah, there we go. Simplicity. Well, I'm now just going to quickly try and get this all set up. And then when we bring you back, hopefully we'll be able to sort of tie up everything nicely and make it all look very well decorated. Alright, so I'm going to work on this for a little bit and I'll bring you back in. I don't think there's a need for a time lapse of it, so we'll see you shortly.
6 hours later.
So I got a little bit carried away and have done a little bit more work than I initially said. Maybe I should have time lapsed it. I'm not sure, but we have well, if I spin around, I have gone ahead and decorated the areas that was sort of plain. Set up a nice little sort of seating area over here. I built another small little house. It got a bit late, so I really couldn't do too much recording, so I just started building and just got away with it. I'm sorry, but I think what I've done is really cool, and I've built a little sort of, just that flat wall there was a bit too plain, so I built in a little bit of storage shelf and, you know, your anvil, some chests. This little house, which unlike the other one that I built between last episode, this one actually has a bit of an interior, which for the small space, I'm actually pretty happy with how it came up. We also added in a little bit of like a veggie patch just over here behind the house. And as you can see, we've now got our little bit of a wharf sort of dock out here, which wraps around nicely to our nether portal, which I did decorate the area out there a little bit better. We'll head over the river in a minute and have a better look. But I also connected the path up really nicely, I think, to the old fishing shack. I've dug in a little hole here, as you can see, because I think something can be used in this space. We could build like a little shack that's sort of half into the hill. I reckon that might look pretty cool. And Ted agrees, don't you, Ted? Oh, now he's gone camera shy. But yeah, so I think this is all really nice. I have to go around with some strings, so we've got all different sort of levels there with the sugar cane, just make it look a little bit more fancy. Haven't really changed and don't plan to change this at all. I want it to sort of stay in keep with how it was when Athika first built it. But so, as you can see, I've sort of done some decorations just in that little space here, with some barrels as well, looking like they're all stacked up. We've made one of the little chairs down here and a few bit of workbenches, sort of make this look really sort of used and alive, like this area's actually, you know, being used and is alive. But I thought, you know, because I've been doing some editing, video hasn't gone for too long in comparison to some of my other videos. What I want to do before we wrap this all up is, did you just teleport backwards, Ted? I'm sorry if I interrupted you. But what I want to sort of do is set up the pathway here to go all the way along, and if I can fly, go all the way along here and meet up with the original path, because for next episode I would like to set up this section between the two main builds that I've done to set up a bit of like a sort of like a market space. It's sort of in the center of these pathways and sort of real crossroads between the different sections of Foxwood. So that's what I want to do for next episode. So what I want to try and get done now before we wrap this all up is set up that little pathway to wrap around behind everything to the main sort of entrance there. And then let's go and actually update our map, because, well, if I fly over to it, which way is it? Can I fly? I don't think I fly. Oh, there we go. If I fly over to the map, we have not updated this at all since I've cleared all the trees. So let me bring you back in and then we can update this map and close off the episode. Alright, see you shortly. Alright, I have now laid some paths, but I did realise that I never actually got to show you this really cool view of how it sort of finished up looking from sort of this end. I'm really kind of happy with how this greenery sort of showed up. I mean, the campfire, I don't know, adds a little bit of ambience, but it might go. As you can see, if you got keen eyes, underneath our dock there, we have glow squid already spawning, so that is still probably going to be on the cards. Alright, let's do a little flyover and I'll show you now the path that we've marked out. It is very basic because I've just done a little bit of a check and I'm starting to run out of some resources. So between episodes, I guess I'm collecting some podzol and gravel and all that other fun stuff. But let's go now quickly look at this path and then set up our maps. Alright. So as we can see, here it is leading out the back way. Got a few sort of markings for where our light is, and it just nice and easily meets up in here. Now, as I said, I still need to get some podzol and a few other blocks just to sort of do the texturing and some decoration stuff there, but I need to go and gather a bit more resources. So let's now head back over to our map board and see if we can get ourselves an updated map. Alright, over at the map board now, I've just filled up my inventory because I know these are not locked maps, but I didn't get a copy of them. So I'm going to try and get myself a copy now without them updating, and I hope that'll work if I've got stuff in my inventory. If not, well, I guess we miss out this stage. So just start up from the top there, take off that one, take off that one, and take off that one. Now let's go over here. Wrong table. Here. 11. We need one of those. Make ourselves the copies, and then we want to have one of them locked. Alright, there's map 11, there's map 11. Let's see if this worked. Both the same one still, yep. Alright, so if I open up this one, that's a bad one. It's not going to really update anything anyway. I think it's worked. Alright, so let me just quickly get these locked ones and then we'll update it all together. Alright, so we were able to make a copy without it being affected at all with any of our changes, leaving us to make a fresh new map so we can see the progression as it's going along, which let's just get done now. If I take these three, that should be my top ones, so let's just fly on over. I know that guy's there, but last time I went over to see him, I got 4. I'm not doing that again. Alright, let's open up this map. Look at it being sketched in, that's so cool. And you can see it almost followed our pathway nicely. Oh, that's awesome. It's just going to all of a sudden just go blump, change. Oh. Look at the map just come to life. Oh, that's so cool. Alright, how cool does that look? We can really see the transformation that our, area's taken. This is looking really cool on the map. Hopefully I've kept it in, but sort of watching this map, or was it this one? One of them, come to life as I was walking through. It was so cool to see. As you can see in this map here, where we've got our enchanting set up, that little sort of patch there, I'm trying to point to it, but that's not going to work, is where I think we're going to be working next episode to really try and sort of connect these two paths together and sort of have that whole sort of line of sight nice and looking clear. And then, I still want to try and get these little farm areas that I keep mentioning done over here, but hopefully that'll come in next episode. We can tile this area up nice and yeah. But I know that this episode's been a little bit of a shorter one than usual, and that's because I got a bit carried away and did a lot of work off camera. Sorry, but it was alright. It was fun. So, if you've made it this far into the video, thank you very, very much. And until next time, bye! Stupid berries.